Good afternoon, guys. Let me just switch over. Good afternoon, and welcome back to another session with myself, Darren Baton from Elite EDM Stars. Do me a favour, on the way in, smash the like button, and also consider subscribing to the channel. Try and get us up to 200 subscribers. It's not many. We're only need 20 more subscribers to make that 200 mark. I know it's not many subscribers, but it's a milestone. So if you'd smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, that'd be great, or just share it with your friends if you think it's valuable for somebody else. And as promised, I said I was going to do a second video. I did a video this morning. I actually did a video yesterday, but again I was having mic problems, and I've sorted that out now, and I decided to redo the video again this morning, and now I'm doing another video which I did a couple of weeks ago, but again my mic was very muffled and you couldn't hear what I was saying, so I decided to redo this video this afternoon. So here we go, guys. This is my remix of my original Pink Bomb Indica track that I wrote with Matt Booker and Rob Preston. Originally in this room, we produced it in 1997, and then the track got released in 1998 after it had been caned around the nightclubs by Sasha, John Digweed, Paul Oakenfold, Steve Lawler, who was a good friend of ours at the time. And so I thought, well, what happened was, I was for many years looking to try and do a remix of the track. Let me get the links up, and so if you want to access the original links, you'll be able to access those links. Just bear with me. So the original you can hear over on SoundCloud on this link here, and I'll just get those ready for you to have a look at shortly. So I'm just going to switch over, and then you'll be able to see. I'm not going to play too much, just in case YouTube decides to do me for copyright of my own track, which is what will happen, because now this track, even though it was originally released on Quad Communications, after 20 years the copyrights are released again, and then it's been re-released on Solarstone, Pure Trance record label. Rich Mowat is a friend of mine, and he asked me to remix the track in 2011. As I said, I was already looking to remix the track, so I did a progressive sort of house remix of it. He liked it, but then he came back to me and said, could you do a progressive trance mix, something a little bit more uplifting in the style, sort of, you know, that would was available at the time, sort of the Armin sort of Van Buren pumping trance sound. So that's what I kind of did. Let me just get the other links up that I'm looking for, which is my remix, and I'll just put that on there, and then you can have a look on the screen. I'm just going to switch over for you so you can see that. Okay, so that's my remix. It's under the Pink Bomb name on SoundCloud. So if you come to Pink Bomb, what's happened is, obviously because now Solarstone own the rights, so Pure Trance owns the rights to the tracks. They Rich basically remastered the originals, released the originals, and did some remasters of the originals, and then released his own version of the track. So as you can see here, we've got the original vocal mix. We've got the Solarstone Pure mix. That's the remastered version of Indica. That's the concrete mix that we released, and these are reissues, just bundled there. And that's the Indica track again, the Solarstone Pured and remastered versions. So it was slightly released in different ways, as you can see, and I've obviously uploaded them. Now that was in 2018, so that was 20 years, almost 20 years after we released the original track from 1998. And then remixes. My remix was released along with these 12 months later in 2019. So you can see Indica remixed, my remix, and the Mendy remix. So my remix will sound in Ableton Live now will sound slightly different to what you listen to on this one here. And you probably won't hear that because I'll have to actually put my output to multiple output device. Let me just play that for you. Okay guys, so there you can have a listen to all the original tracks and the remixes, and if you come over to dB9 project as well, you also find my stuff in my tracks. But I didn't purposely, actually I didn't upload my remix onto my dB9 project profile, purely because it had been uploaded onto here, and now it's uploaded onto here, I can upload it to my profile. I waited until it was actually done on here first before I sort of linked it or put it in there, and I can now put it in with the proper stuff, you know, artwork. Couldn't think what it was called then. So that's the sort of little bit of history behind the track. Let me scoot this down so you can see, and let's go into the project. So to create the remix, I originally, as I said, I did a house version, sort of a housey, progressive house version, and so some of the elements in this remix are from that original version. I just literally restructured and rebuilt the whole track for more progressive trance, 132 feel. I think original Indica was 135, and that was made on a sampler, the Yamaha TG300 and a Roland, I think a Roland JV 1080. That's the sampler there. I think it could have been the Akai S2000, and I think then we upgraded to the Akai S5000 just after we made Indica. If I believe right, I can't quite remember. It's been a long time ago, obviously. But I had to try and recover all of the samples, all of the midis from the Atari. We were on Atari 1 mega memory, and all the samples were on floppy disks. And I had to try and recover as many samples as I could. So I did that. I had a few vocal hits, a few effects here and there. I loaded the original MIDI track inside Ableton, inside Cubase version 2 on the Atari, and then what I did was take some of the elements, actually just drew the patterns onto a piece of paper, sketched them out, and then sort of imprinted stuff back into MIDI files into the sequencer. You can see there's quite a lot in the project. I do apologise if my CPU is a bit slow. Oh, it's actually settled itself down now. That was killing not long ago before I went live. It wasn't running very well, but I've turned some things off, so it should run better. But what I did is I took the original sample of the original track off the CD. We got it on CD, believe it or not. I took a copy of that, chopped it up, made my own sort of version of that. Okay, so this kind of waspy synth you may have heard at the start of my remix when I played it on SoundCloud. Now here, unfortunately, I have got LFO tool is missing, so I got an LFO sort of a panner on there which was making it wobble and pan to side, which was giving it that sort of wobbly effect. It was taking the filter, and what it was kind of doing is this. And it was doing that in a kind of a time in maybe 1/8 or a 1/4 beat, and it was just making it bounce, pan side to side. So unfortunately I can't replicate that sound for you. It was just a sort of vandalism, wispy, washy kind of sort of vibratoed lead. You can see there's a little bit of vibrato on the actual rate there. Okay, the bass was made up when we come to the bass section. So we've obviously got this lead coming in. That was to try and emulate some bit of Indica-ness back into the original. From the original, trying to create some plucks. Again, I've got some other sounds at the bottom which are replicating sort of some original stuff. There's a few bits and bobs missing here that I can't put in. I can't play you. I can't remember what these are now. So maybe high pitch and vocal effects. Yeah, they're kind of missing, unfortunately. The reason is because this track was made on this old Mac over here, and when it crashed, I lost a lot of things, and a lot of stuff from the backup drive won't load on this computer. So this is as best as I can get it, really, guys. So you can see there's a lot of clap in the drums. There's lots of layers of claps going on. Okay guys, so that sort of gives you a bit of an insight there. Again, for the breakdown, what I did, I was struggling to get this breakdown to work, and I thought, well, I need to get back to the original track, the original breakdown of the track, which what made Indica what the track it was. And so obviously it was all about that trippy vibe building up, and then the trippy breakdown. So I just literally sampled it in the end. I got part of it in there, but it wasn't quite right. I sampled it, and then it's been layered with some pads as well. So we've got a nice pad structure coming in here as well, which adds a new twist to it. So you can see that the pads are just building up there, and then I drop them into chord pattern. Got this Indica atmosphere, one of the original samples. And a few other things I did as well. I actually made some effects, my own sort of effects. Got the Something Wonderful sample, Indica effects. Got a sub in there. And these little effects, I literally took one of the Indica samples, and I made these years ago. Self-made effects, as you can see there. And these are just individual sort of loops and feedbacks that I created. Okay, so that was just sort of a little taking. I can't remember actually how I did it, but it was just taking effects and probably just a feedback loop on a delay or something, or some reverb or something like that, created a big effect. That's how I used to sort of always do. I spent years and years practicing creating effects from the original sound or sample that I've got, because it adds the same feeling and atmosphere back into your track, rather than just taking some random effect from a sample pack and throwing it in there. If you can resample elements of your own track, it really sort of adds a lot of flavour to your overall sound. If there's any questions, guys, please do leave them in the comments. There's not much sort of else I can really go through, but as I say, the bass line was built up by just dropping into a sub and a crunchy bass, and then building up again, some more layers. So I'll just play you through that again. As you can see there, just literally pitch bending down the note. It goes up, and then it pitches back down. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get rid of that delay. It's going on forever. So you can see how much delay and stuff's going on in the track. Look at the different washouts I've got going on across here as well, to add that sort of washout flavour and make it feel like it's rushing up, and bass is filtering out, delay and reverb's coming into the mix. Just a little bit of ducking down on the mix here. I didn't really duck the original mix here. Normally sort of sometimes bring the original mix down on my masters here, just sort of in the breakdowns, but in this particular one I didn't do that, just because the sample's already sort of quiet enough as it is. I sort of left it there. Now the whole track went off to be mixed Dolby surround sound afterwards. So what I did is, the reason all of these tracks are in individual stems is because I bounced them down for Rich, Solarstone, and what he did is he basically sent them off for Dolby surround sound mastering. So I basically broke everything down into, as much as I could, into stems, mixed everything down and bounced everything down into all synths, stems, drums, vocals, whatever effects, and just sent him a load of stem files, and then it was mastered in Dolby surround sound, as you can hear if you go and listen to the track on SoundCloud. So don't forget guys, if you come up to SoundCloud, search for Pink Bomb, you should be able to find Pink Bomb -music. So yeah, I hope that's giving you a little bit of insight guys, how to put my remix together. Now this wasn't a quick remix, like sometimes I can do a remix in a few hours or a few days and it's done. This was a long project. As I said, it went from one style to another style, and I sent the track over. Rich was happy with it. Just a couple of things that he wanted me to take away. I had like some of the effect tricks with some deck stops going on this little breakdown, on the little break here somewhere, I think, when this synth comes up. Can't quite remember where it is, guys. Yeah, it could have been in that part there. It could have been this little effect here. So there's quite a lot going on to make this effect happen. You can see there's a few things missing here, like Effectrix and Effects LFO tools. See, a lot of processing tools are missing off my original track. But if you watch this, so what's creating that effect is I've got a filter rising up, and then I've got a bandpass filter on the master out, changing the frequency again. So if I turn that off, okay, so you can see what that does. It creates an extra layer of a filter. So rather than just sweeping up to a high pass filter with the washout effect on the master out, that just adds another layer of frequency. It's just literally chopping out all of these frequencies and leaving the middle frequency. So it's creating like a mid sort of band pass, mid pass. Just going to upgrade that, but you can see the difference now. I've upgraded that. Not quite the same effect, is it? Now I've upgraded the see. Not quite the same effect. When I upgrade it, the filter goes a little bit smaller. So it just shows you that that's the difference in Ableton's plugins being updated over time. The shapes of them, the curves and frequencies are slightly changed, so you'd have to refiddle around with that again to get the positioning how you want it. But what I've got as going on here, as I said, I've got an Effectrix plugin somewhere. I think one of these sections, I can't remember. It could have been Effectrix here, but it was doing a bit of a deck slide, and Rich just asked me to take it out. So I just went back to that and sort of did the original sliding up and chopping, really. If you've got the sound here, it's sort of just chopped. So that's not much else I can sort of cover in it, really, guys. As I say, it was just a case of building these sections up. Not an easy process, really. Very complicated track. Sort of 3 layers in with the leads: a high lead, a noise lead, and a main lead. Effect stems. You can see there's lots of effects going on. Square plucks going on here. Reverse vocal stabs, square basses there. That's all the bass, and then there was a square bass as well. So yeah, a lot of layering, a lot of texturing going on, a lot to control in the mix, a lot to tame the mix, and I haven't really got a master as such. It was just 2 different mastering chains I was trying out. So I've got an old stereo enhanced master here, and I've got it's just an effects one I've made up myself. Purely it was just for my own reference points, because obviously everything was going off to be mastered in surround sound. Then I didn't need to worry about that. My main thing was making sure that all the levels are right here, getting the track right. Just reference mastering from my own speaker system and sending it off as the levels are, so that it can be brought back into the mix properly. So yeah, I hope that helps, guys, in sort of breaking down that. I don't just make house music and garage house music and stuff like that. I do make trance. I was originally a deep house music fan when I first got into all of this. But I teamed up with a guy, Rob Preston, and we started making the trance stuff. Then Matt joined us on our second track when we made Indica, and went sort of forward from there. And then we went back to just me, myself, and Rob. And then we released a few more singles until 2000, and then we parted ways. I went to live in a different area into Birmingham. I started working in Birmingham, DJing in Birmingham, and I teamed up with another house music producer over there, and we ended up forming the Rhythm Purists and as DJs, and ran a couple of record labels, and it kind of went on from there, really, guys, as it became events promoters and sort of did things like that. And then I got into teaching. I sort of got away from the music for a while after signing to a label in America, Carousel Recordings, Mike Gillenwater's label. Got sort of screwed over for the contract. Long story, I won't go into bore you with the details, but big learning curve, and sort of continued to progress and learn to produce really more and more. Went to university after I did my teaching for 5 years, went and got my degree, and then couldn't get back into teaching, so just carried on with the music, other jobs, and now I'm back obviously running the music academy. So that's a long story cut short, and I've bored you with enough of that, but I hope that's given you a bit of insight, guys, to my Pink Bomb track, my history. That's where it kind of all started for me. If you just come to here and type Pink Bomb Discogs, I think it should come up, and there we are. So just to prove it is me, there we are, Darren Baton, Matt Booker and Rob Preston, and that was our singles: Pink Bomb, Indica, Aftershock, Iracus. So we released four singles, but then made it to quite a lot of compilation albums, as you can see. So that for us was a massive exposure into the music industry. But yeah, I've never really sort of left it. You can see there we got on Transnation and Ultra Records back in 2000. Indica on Judge Jules and Boy George's Ibiza annual. On Global Underground, which was the label we were signed to, which was Quad Communications. And you can see it's been released various times, and other compilations that we've got, showing 25, let's say 100 results. So yeah, that was our very first compilation, DJ Tiesto, Global Clubbing in the Netherlands. That was sort of like the Dance Valley era times. We also made it to a PlayStation game as well, Total Driving, I believe, was the track, or the video game. Look at this, I didn't even know this. Indica, DJ Soto, DJ Victor Perez, never heard of these. Didn't even know it was licensed out there. So it just shows you. Indica vocal remix, not on label. I don't know what that was all about. I've never seen that before. Pro DJ International, Indica. I didn't even know that was there as well. So these are new additions that I didn't even know were on there. Maybe these are from the latest releases, again in 2018. That could be. But you can see Disco Trance. We even got onto Disco Trance. Wow. Global Recordings, BMG Recordings in Africa. Didn't even know these existed, guys. These are all new to me. So yeah, that was Rob's original track, My Life in Art. That was the track he wrote before I met him. Oh, look, even that onto a Russian compilation album. Wow, it's interesting. So you know, we did quite well at the time. We were lucky enough to be in the industry just before everything shifted into digital in 1998, 2000. We were lucky enough to be the last sort of end of that era of vinyl releases into CD, before the blank CD became the biggest selling CD on the planet. What I mean by that is that everybody was copying music and forging music, basically copying it and selling it on, or didn't want to pay for it, did they? But we won't talk about that. We're in a new era now. We're in a blockchain industry era. Things are going to change. Things are looking up for the music industry. There's lots of fantastic stuff coming out there. So with that said, guys, that leaves me to leave you to have a wonderful Sunday evening. The clocks have gone back here now in the UK, so we are losing light the next half an hour or so. I would have thought about 4:30. So that's me done, guys. I just hope I don't get a copyright claim on this this track from Blackhole Recordings or Pure Trance, because it is originally my track, but copyrights are copyrights, and YouTube doesn't care if somebody else owns it, even though I'm the original artist. I may get a copyright claim, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, peace, take care. Oh, we don't want that. That's the one.